We are back.
Yo! Welcome to another episode of the BJJ GOONS podcast. I'm your host, Tim Spriggs, aka Number One Stunner, aka Grips of the North Star, aka Jits Bay, aka Mr. I Heel Hook White Belts with the gi on because I train for the streets, aka the Mushmaster, aka King of the BJJ Deathmatch, aka the Trainwreck God, aka Trillmonger, aka Best Mouch Machine, aka Fuck the Rankings, I Want All the Smoke, aka the Elker Strangler, aka Blast Double Poppy, aka Musha T, aka Big Homie Mush, OG and founder of Goon Life, aka book me for a seminar at timspriggsbjj.com. This month, all new clients will receive a free copy of my new ebook, How to Slide Into Your Favorite BJJ Girls' DMs Without Getting Canceled. And sitting to my right,
Tone Perennial, aka Tony Perennial,
the founder of White Belt BJJ Dating, and what is your MMA dating app? Cage Date?
CageDate.com. Working on BJJ.diet now too. Man, we got too much in store for y'all.
Great expansion.
Yup.
I mean, the brand is booming.
Yeah, and I got a little quick news about that too. BJJDating.com now free for women. No more women have to pay.
Free for the ladies.
$2.99 a month for men. Everybody crying about 25% women on the site is not enough. So, all right, women are free now, and y'all can cry to somebody else about the men having to pay, like every other website in the world. And also, WBBJJ.com, the main site, redesigned and looking beautiful. Go check it out. You seen it yet?
See what?
I just updated this site, my main site.
Let's check it out.
And put it on here for everybody too. Look at that new look. Oh boy!
Holy shit!
We got a breaking news header.
Breaking news. Oh man,
It's looking good, right?
this is high level shit. Hey, time out. Did everyone see the dwarf boy? I'm sorry, I don't know.
Yeah, I did that story.
The little person. He's a little person.
Yeah, there it is.
I'm sorry. I fuck up on the names. I don't know the names of what you're supposed to call people now. But
It's midget. Wait, that's
he
the old
suffered
days.
a little person.
I'm
It's
just
not,
kidding,
it's
guys.
Not,
I'm just kidding.
It's not dwarf.
From the old
It's
days.
It's little person. So there's a video going around of this little person, and apparently it's actually a grown ass man.
No, that's actually been proven false. Yeah.
Are you sure?
100%. I'll show you. But here's the video real quick, just so everybody can see. Everybody knows.
Us as a family, I want people to educate their children.
Okay, I'm gonna go to Snopes for you.
Bro, I don't believe that shit is real, man.
They found a kid that looks like him and came up with the fake story of that he's 18.
All right. Okay.
So just in case anybody's wondering, what the hell?
Snopes is typically correct. I'll give you that.
Let's get rid of that. Nah, it's been proven that the people manufactured the story that he's 18. They found an Instagram with somebody that looks just like him. So is dude 18-year-old false?
Bruh, that shit looks staged as fuck. Whether it's a real child or not.
I hear you.
It looks staged, and I think it's sick. I think we're the first generation of people to deal with social media and having so much connectivity and it being connected to success. We can now keep up with the Joneses online, and we can make up a totally different life for ourselves, which is the online world. So people will go online and do anything for attention. People are starved for attention. There's this old Andy Warhol quote. He said, in the future, everyone will have 15 minutes of fame. The only thing that I think is incorrect about that is it's probably 15 seconds of fame. And people are desperate for it. People thirst for attention. People want to be an influencer.
Yeah, but this kid looks roughed up right here. That's some rough looking shit.
Well,
if he's acting, that's a good ass 9-year-old actor.
I mean, yeah, he could. I just think that it looks staged. If your child is going through something that fucked up, why the hell would you record it?
$400,000.
$400,000. Like,
That's how much they got.
How does that help? How does that help? That doesn't solve the problem.
That solves a lot of
400,000 is not going to solve the problem.
It'll
Him
help.
being bullied, whether people just walking down the street aren't going to know he's rich. If he is rich, from $400,000 isn't going to make him rich. That's number one. Number two, if this is true, why is she recording it? Why is she asking for money? How the fuck is that going to make him feel better? If he goes to school and he gets bullied even more? Now it's just showing the world that, oh, yes, I get bullied, and then I accept it because I'm sitting in the car crying wanting to kill myself. That's embarrassing. Why the fuck would you do that to your kid?
I hear you.
I call fake news people, and you can call me insensitive, but
bullying has on a 9-year-old kid that just wants to go to school, get an education, and have fun, but every single freaking day, something happens. Another episode, another bullying, another taunt, another name calling. And I want people to know how much it is.
Shit crazy.
And why would he instead of consoling him, she's just putting that motherfucker on camera? Like, that's more embarrassing.
Yeah.
And Twitter, oh my God, Twitter is eating this. I got on Twitter. Shout out to JB Rowe, Morty Crimp Jr., one of the homies. He put me on to getting back on Twitter, and I realized that my account had lapsed or I couldn't find it.
Oh dang!
So I started a new Twitter, and like Twitter is eating this kid alive.
Oh, I'm sure that.
Yeah, so it's not gonna make it no fucking better. And please don't be a sucker and give these people money. Remember the last time people were fooled into believing some kid was a victim? Was that the family with the little white boy that was getting picked on? Do you remember? Well, every year or so, there's some sob story. Stop giving money to a sob story. You want to help the kid? You know what you do? You just try to make the world a better place, because there's no fucking helping him. He's all the way in fucking Australia. You know, you can send these little videos to him and hoping it's going to make him feel better. But honestly, once the 15 seconds of fame wears off, he's still going to be having to deal with the bullshit every day. You know, here's another thing, too, about bullying now. You want to stop bullying? It has to be a personal choice that you don't want to be a victim after a certain point. I was bullied relentlessly as a child. I had to deal with people trying to fuck with me. And at the end of the day, I had to look in the mirror and say, I'm not going to take it any fucking more. And as a, not adult, but a young adult, I made the decision to train. I just hate that. That's just like, his mom is a clout chaser. Fuck that shit. I don't even like looking at videos like that. You're embarrassing the child. When I was a kid, like, you got embarrassed like that, it was in the neighborhood or it was the people that saw it. Now, the whole world fucking sees it. It's pathetic.
Yeah, that shit does get traffic, though. I hate to say it.
It does get
the kind of stuff
traffic.
that gets the traffic. I've got thousands of views just because I put out that story. It's not even jiu-jitsu related.
You know what I'm going to do? So I can pander to the fans and make everyone think I'm a nice guy. I'm just going to go online and talk about how I'm going to offer this kid jiu-jitsu lessons.
Yeah, like Dylan Dennis did with the little black kid that got
That's
beat
phony
up.
shit.
Boom.
Look,
Of course it's fake.
hey, people, let me tell you something. Just because you do one nice thing, does that mean you're a nice person? Just because you try to look humble one time, that does not mean your whole life of being a rich, cocky asshole is forgotten. It's just that you're trying to make yourself look good.
Yeah,
Some of the
PR.
grimiest people put on the biggest front. Just so sick. But I was with some real people this past weekend.
Yeah, he was with.
I was in the great state of West Virginia.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, I was at Sans Ego BJJ.
Nice.
And
Ego? Did you say ego?
Sans Ego, so no ego, basically.
Oh, okay.
I think
Oh,
that's
Sans. Without
Sans.
ego.
Yes, I was in Sans Ego BJJ in Hurricane, West Virginia. I was fucking up the name before. Sorry, folks, but it's Hurricane. It was a great time. Really good seminar. The drive was brutal, though. It was 6.5. No, it was like 5.5, but I had to piss and get gas. So it was like a 5.5 hour drive all through the mountains. And this is high in the mountains of West Virginia.
And Blue Ridge Mountains.
I think so. I don't know. All I know is it was cold as fuck.
Appalachians.
The Appalachians. I had a great time. Shout out to everyone. If you guys are interested in having me at a seminar, if you're listening, you can go to bookspriggsbjj@gmail and email me, or go to timspriggsbjj.com and you can book me for a seminar, private lessons, maybe even a super fight. And I'm looking for a super fight. I want all the smoke. Fuck the rankings. I want all the smoke. I really want to put myself out there. Pans is coming up, which is a big deal. We'll get to my camp later. But yeah, West Virginia is dope. It's great because the high altitude, when you drink, it gets you drunker quicker. Like whenever I go to Denver, 2 beers, I'm like really fucked up.
Damn.
But also, I don't really drink like that. So let's start with Fight to Win, though. Another big event that happened. Kane and the Trader. I mean, not the Trader. The Cheater. Juice Monkey Kynan versus Tractor. That match was pretty decent. That was the main event. It was okay. It wasn't the most exciting match. It was a lot of wrestle jitsu. And both those guys aren't going to really... I mean, Kynan pulled. He kind of went for shit, but it wasn't really nothing to call home about. I think those guys are so explosive and so good, they were kind of tentative. They still went for it towards the end. I would have given the edge to Tractor, but in a match like that, I mean, you can't really go wrong either way. Both teams played really hard. The other match that intrigued me was Johnny Tama versus Edwin Najmi. Edwin Najmi, guys, Edwin is very flashy. He's known for his flying triangle. You want to hear a story about the flying triangle?
What's that?
Edwin Najmi is the Batman of the flying triangle. He became the thing that he hated the most. So there was this guy on our team. His name was Cedric. He's still on the team, Cedric. So Cedric is and was back then a superstar on the mat, even as a little blue and purple belt. I came up on the team. I'm only like 4 or 5 years older than most of the guys at most. And I remember when Cedric was a kid and he was a killer. And around this time, he was in college. So he wasn't really training like that too much. And he fought Edwin Najimi, and I think they were like blue belts. Yeah, they were blue belts. Edwin Najimi pulls guard, but you know how people pull guard and they sit with the grip?
Mm-hmm.
Cedric, flying triangle.
Oh.
Tight.
Wasn't ready for that.
No, yes. Cedric Bryant, tight ass flying triangle. Like, Sukup! And like you could see like it was on. Edwin falls back. Cedric gets the mount. Finish. Tell me next year what happened. Ask me next year what happened. You wanna know what happened?
What happened?
Edwin Najmi, little BJJ history for my youngins out there, or the noobs out there. He flying triangled Marigali in the finals of the Purple Belt Open.
Dang.
Put him out.
Holy mackerel.
Yes. And even then, Marigali was a beast. He went double gold, double gold, double gold at all the Grand Slams. He won gold that day at Worlds, then lost in the finals. So little side story. But Edwin did a phenomenal job with Johnny Tama. He instigated his game immediately. He is very good at scrambles. He got that reverse triangle so quickly, like that. He was going for like a Kimura trap, ended up with a reverse triangle. And I think he could have finished the fight, but Johnny was able to finish it sooner. But Johnny was able to hold on to his sleeve. And I think that this is a prime example of the importance of having a bespoke gi. And by bespoke, I mean custom or a tailor cut gi that's tight. Here's why. You get these lightweight gis that you get wet in. When the wet, lightweight gi or like a pearl weave gi, them jokers end up getting wet. They're easy to stretch. And if they're easy to stretch, they're easy to grip. In today's styles of guard with the lapels and just the regular sleeve grip lasso, your gi is stretchy or it's not tight to your body. Even if you pull your elbow back, even if you circle your hand,
Still ain't gonna work.
it's still not going to work, or you're going to need to have extremely accurate technique and an exorbitant amount of pressure. So you guys got to get these bespoke gis. I hate that I had to do it, but I got to wear like a A2 long gi just to practice them because I got so many good guard guys. We got Adekola from Fight Sports. He's coming in. He's on the squad now. We have Kieran Kichuk. I got Malachi Edmond. I got Jamil. So I have to wear tight gis even in practice. So I suggest that all you guys invest in a gi that is sturdy with a thick weave that's cut right. You got to find a cut that fits your body. So not all gis are created equally. Like a gi that would fit me, Tony, will not fit you. I like VHTS because they do a really good job of that cut, where it's slim cut and you can pass. Another thing too, invest in a gi checker. You ever go to IBJGF? You see the guys with the tool they put in your sleeve? Just copped one. It is in my bag all the time. So if a guy on your team has a little cheater gi, we can see. Or since it's competition time, competition season, we got the Pans, we got Brasileiro. I know around here we have the DC Open, and of course there's Worlds. It's important to know whether your gi will make the cut. A gi is important because you weigh in with the gi on. So you need to measure your gis. You got to make sure they're cut up and up to specifications. I went crazy and bought the gi checker, but if you want to go extreme, you find you a good tailor. You buy you a gi that's about a size your size or like maybe a little bit bigger. Get it actually tailored by someone that knows what they're doing. Go to the IBJGF website. You're going to find all the specifications you need to find a gi that fits you. I know that back in the day, the Mendes brothers had gis that looked like they had capri pants on, and they were fitting perfectly, and they looked like suits. If you look at these old videos when they would go to Japan and fight, they had these black AOJ, I think they were shoulder gis, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I found out, I mean, it could have been just hearsay, but it's on good authority. What the guys would do is they'd make sure they were fit and perfect. Like they got them tailored just for them, custom fit. And the way it was, like, you can only wear them shits like one time. Because, like, if you wash them, they might shrink and all that. So that's like a one-time use or only competition.
Right.
So you just cop that. So that's a little pro tip for you. But, yeah, Edwin did a phenomenal job. He has a very exciting style. He retained his title. And I don't think he gets enough credit. Like, I mean, everyone looks at the drip he wears on Instagram. A lot of people see the flashy moves, but that's real jiu-jitsu. That man got second at Worlds. I think his first or second year. Ran through everybody. His only loss that day. A man I find to be in the GOAT discussion, Lucas Sapri. And everybody gets watched by Lucas Sapri. I was shocked that Dante Leon put the beating on him kind of like he did at ADCC. And that's rare. That shows you how rare it is for a guy like Lucas Sapri to get caught up. So, guys, get you a gi that fits. And another thing, too, you know what pisses me off, Tony, as far as gis? People that wear cheater gis. There's a fine line between having a tight gi that's bespoke, having a gi that's legal, just tight, you know, kind of hard to grip.
Right.
And then there's guys that wear the capri pants.
I know what you're talking about.
There are guys...
Can't even get a cat paw on a sleeve. It's impossible.
No, it's basically they're wearing a cotton rash guard, a pearl weave rash guard, a double weave rash guard. It's absurd. Do you wear cheater gis? Like, how do you like your gis to fit, Tony?
I like them for comfort. I don't compete that much, though. I just like to feel comfortable. Soft as possible. Light.
Soft, light,
Yeah.
comfortable.
But, of course, that makes it easier to grip.
Okay. Do you have a favorite brand?
It depends.
Let's be careful now. I don't want to fuck up your political connects.
I mean, Fuji's great. They're great, but I've always wanted. Here's a gi that I've never tried, but I've always wanted, and it's called Prana. Prana.
Okay.
They got some beautiful gis. They're just classy looking. Let's see if I can pull it up. They got some classy looking stuff. They just look comfortable. Let's see if I can't find a Piranha gi.
Piranha. Yo, like, there was a gi. All my old heads listening, you're going to know exactly what gi I'm talking about. It had, first, it felt like sandpaper when you first started breaking it in. But once you got the skin, like you got jiu-jitsu skin, everyone that does jiu-jitsu, after a while, they get the jiu-jitsu skin. They're used to their skin being roughed up a little. Best gi. It was sturdy. You could wash it. You could dry the motherfucker. You could just beat the hell out of it. It had thick ass collars where if someone grabbed you, it was hard for them to maintain it. You could just pop the grips off, but it was legal, and it was cut kind of like a judo gi, like if you see the Olympics that cut like it's a suit.
Mm-hmm.
Howard Combat kimonos.
Huh.
The first real jiu-jitsu gi I bought was a Howard Combat kimono, and I got to tell you, like, for a competitor that likes to throw people, back in the day, those were tight. I don't know what happened to them. It used to be not just Jiu-Jitsu guys were sponsored. Randy Couture was sponsored by him, and they just disappeared off the face of the earth. Danny Ives, the guy who runs the Ivy League, he had the plug. He was the Howard Combat Kimonos plug. And those gis were really dope. So you're pulling up the Prana gis.
These fools out of business.
They're out of business?
Yeah, they're gonna be trying that.
Hey, yo.
Yeah.
It's probably because of those greedy fighters that keep on asking to be sponsored.
Now, I'm all about Fuji, though. Get you a Fuji Elemental gi. They're so soft.
I love the VHTS. I like VHTS's no-gi shit a lot.
Nice.
Like that, their no-gi shit is like top 5 dead or alive, like type 5 all time. And their gis are sick. I like the chain reaction joint, but I need a new one. I need a new chain reaction. So VHTS, if you're listening,
We need some stuff.
you need to send some shit my way. This is my begging segment. Also, if you're interested in buying the best no-gi and streetwear and gi apparel, go to vhtsny.com. Use promo code Mushmaster for 10% off. I have a hot take for you.
What's that one?
Guard is easier than passing.
Yeah, I could agree.
All right.
Why not? Guard retention can work on pretty easy. There's a lot more facets to guard passing. A lot more directions you can go. A lot more ways to do it. Guard retention is just guard retention. Keep everything attached.
I liken it to this. I say that you have to earn top position in jiu-jitsu most of the time, unless the person concedes, right? What is conceding? Conceding is pulling guard. Anyone could just sit to their butt. In MMA, guys sit to their ass all the time if they're in trouble, try to butt scoot, try to get the guy to engage. Of course, the guy, if he's good at striking, says stand the fuck up.
Right.
Or the guy just doesn't want to grapple or he's winning. So you have to earn top position. And it's way easier, since it's way easier to concede, more often than not, the top guy is going to get penalized. I see it all the damn time. Top guys don't get no time on top. They're blaming the top guy for having gravity on his side and choosing not to concede. I hate that. The way guards are now with all the lassos, I said it before, with all the lassos, with all the lapel guard shit, it is hard for you to maintain the top position, let alone pass without giving some time. I saw a match at, where was it? It was Spider Korea. And it was the one that I won. There was a match between Cashinho and Levi Jones-Leary. In the rules meeting, they said, guys, we got to work. These are short matches. We're going to call stalling. However, if you're the top guy and you're putting double lasso, it's not stalling on the top person. We're going to penalize the bottom person. So guess what happens in the Cashinho match?
What happens there?
Levi Jones-Leary is actively trying to pass, or he's on top. You know, when you're on top, you can't just be jerking your arms around, trying to do all kinds of crazy shit. You got to secure position. You got to make sure you have balance before you start moving and gripping and breaking off grips and adjusting, right? Tell me why this man Cashinho puts him in double lasso so he can't really do shit except try to move. It goes to decision. They give it to Cashinho. Now, I'm a guard passer, and I am biased, but to you, does it not seem kind of fucked up that the bottom person is going to get the win in that instance?
Yeah, I hear you. That's jiu-jitsu for you, though.
It is jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu has turned into fighting without really fighting. You cannot really go for the win, but still win. Anybody can just tie somebody up. If that is your whole game, is to tie someone up and lay on your back,
all right,
and try to teeter-totter, I mean, there's some people that's their whole game. I know people that they could be so much better if they opened up. but either they're scared or they don't feel comfortable, and they just do all guard retention. And they hope that you get frustrated and step into some shit.
Right.
And maybe try to lock you in a 50-50 and flip you over, or just get some kind of advantage and it's over. That shit's lame.
Yeah.
It has to adjust. You have to adjust for it. To me, that's been a huge problem that I've had, dealing with that kind of style. Because I'm an athlete, first and foremost. So if we want to go jiu-jitsu for jiu-jitsu, we can. But dealing with that style is difficult. And the beauty of guard passing is it's an art, though. Like, once you understand the concepts of passing a guard, once you understand what your opponent is kind of trying to do, you can piece it together and then kind of deal with it. I think like guard passing is very underrated. If you look at a good guard passer, that is super exciting to me.
Oh, yeah, for
Just tooling somebody. Like, you ever seen Andre Galvao just
I see.
throw that guy around?
Exactly
You know
what
exactly what I'm talking about, right? Makes the guy turn the turtle. He spins on his fucking back.
Dancing on him.
Dance on people. That's what people want to see, dude. People don't want to see somebody getting tied up in the fucking lapel.
Yeah, right.
And you're not trying to kill somebody. Felipe Andrew's good. He kind of does that, but he tries to kill people. Keenan kind of does it, but the thing with Keenan is he gets tired. So if he's not he's tying you up because he knows that if it's a scramble, he gets tired. And then people fuck up and then he catches him in spectacular stuff. But you guys got to pass, man. Passing changes it. If it's two guys that are equally good, but one is more active with the passing, I'm the guy that's passing is always going to have the upper hand. You can't concede. I think takedowns matter too. I think we say this all the time. We need to change the rules so either takedowns or passing or being on top is emphasized, or pulling guard is penalized.
Yeah, I like that idea. Then like -2 starting off.
Yeah, because you kind of you're by letting people pull guard and then giving them the benefit of the doubt, it's kind of taking away what makes jiu-jitsu great. Jiu-jitsu is the MMA of grappling. To be an all-around great grappler, you need to know takedowns. And you don't need to know just takedowns. You need to know wrestling. You need to know judo. You don't just need to know regular traditional jiu-jitsu. You got to have a little sambo with you. You got to get good at the leg locks. You got to take different stuff. You can't just be Johnny guard puller and just do one specific style of fighting. You have to diversify. That's the future. I'm teaching kids now that they know how to do everything. We have a room where we have kids that have berimbolas that looks like they're black belts next to a kid that knows how to pass like Rodolfo, and they all train together and they can all demonstrate it. They might not do it in the match, but they can all demonstrate it. I'm afraid, and what I've seen over the course of my time in jiu-jitsu is a lot of specialization.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not specialization after the fact that you know everything or you know the basics. There are some guys that come into their jiu-jitsu gym now without the intention of being in a fight.
Oh, yeah.
Jiu-jitsu's now become like a sport. And it's a combat sport. Don't get me wrong. A guard puller can beat up most people in a street fight because they're probably not even going to need to know takedowns too much. They can just choke somebody.
All right.
However, if you want to go against someone that's equally good, you got to know takedowns. So I think it's a lot of specialization. I think we should change the rules to emphasize more takedowns because that double lasso, tie you up shit is fucking boring. And I have a judging criteria change. I want to run that by you. All right. The last to score in a time match wins the decision. The
Not
last
bad.
to score wins the decision. Now, here's the thing.
Keeps people working.
But we got to make a rule for like 50-50, though. Because if it's a 50-50 battle, it's going to be like teeter-totter.
Mm-hmm.
And then it has to be like, oh, wow. You went off a 50-50 sweep. And that's lame. That's like the All-Star game this weekend. They changed the rules in the All-Star game for the NBA. And in the last quarter, it's a specific score you have to reach. So let's say both teams were, it was like 150 apiece, right? Just hypothetically speaking. So in order of Kobe Bryant, the first team to score, like you gotta get to, it's 24 points basically. First team to score 24 points in the fourth quarter, or get to that golden score, which is like, it was just some math equations where you have to get to a certain amount of points, and they won on a fucking free throw. That's lame as fuck. You don't want to win that way.
Yeah, it's like winning by an advantage and shit, like you said.
Man, I hate advantage. Well, advantages are good, but I just like last person to actually score. And while on the subject of passing, I want to talk a little bit about like what helped me get better at passing. I think you'll like this. So, number one is anticipation. When a match starts, I've watched film or I'm just looking at them, we got to be able to anticipate what kind of guard pull they're going to be pulling on you by what their stance is and what they're reaching for. So that's the number one thing, anticipation. Number two, knowing what the benefits and drawbacks are of each guard and how it works. Every guard has a specific purpose and what it's trying to do, and in different situations. Like I ask myself, what's the situation? Why is he there? How can he attack from here? What does he want me to do? And how does he react to the stimulus that I'm giving him? Like what I show, and see what his reaction is. And this helps me determine how to reverse engineer and dissect someone's guard. So I'll give you a prime example. When I was teaching in Hurricane, West Virginia this weekend at San Diego, somebody asked me a question. This wasn't even like some shit off of like what I was planning on the teaching. They were just asking about De La Riva. And I broke De La Riva down like this. I said, there's a De La Riva leg, so the leg you hook around their knee, right? What does it do? It immobilizes your opponent's leg, so the person can't just drive through a knee cut you, and they can't dance around your guard and bullfight. Two, it keeps the opponent close. It's a ranger, so I can keep you in range, so I know where you're going and I can feel it.
They can push the back leg away.
Yeah. And three, for that leg, it allows for inversions. Got it? Now, the free leg, the one that's doing the kicking or the posting, right? It creates distance and maintains distance, first and foremost. And it can be used to unbalance or knock over your opponent.
Yep.
Think about it, right? Now, how to neutralize it. The guard. Guard is basically entangling of legs. Different positions, but if you were to fight somebody without legs, Tony, would they be able to play guard?
Nope.
Can a man without legs play guard, people? No. So, the De La Riva leg, what do? You push the leg down below the knee.
Yep.
You turn your foot out.
Stuff it.
Yes, you stuff it. You turn your foot out, away from your opponent's body.
So they can't lock the hook in.
They can't lock it in, or if they are able to, it's weaker. And you drive forward. You drive to where your knee is pointed after you turn your foot. That neutralizes the De La Riva leg. Outside leg, what do you have to do? You get your elbow tight to your body so it can't get under you, can't kick you. And then you can grab a cat's paw sleeve grip on the pants leg. Little shit like that help me understand how to break it down.
Do you like grabbing their collar grip as well?
It all depends on what So, for De La Riva, I like same side collar grip, and I can drive. Because that way I can like long step or reverse knee cut or do all kinds of different stuff. But I can do leg drag. But once I neutralize the legs, it's kind of just a feel thing. That's another thing the reason why I say that guard passing is more of an art than a science. Because it's so dynamic. Once you break off grips, once you start moving, it's about principles. So when you guys are watching film, people that are listening, or when you are in the room, you got to take mental note or film your rolling sessions and then figure out what you're doing and why the person reacts the way they do. And once you figure that out, you're going to be able to get better of your opponents in practice and then force them to find counters to your counter. And that's the chess match that's in jiu-jitsu. And I find that very difficult to find in other sports such as that. I think maybe like basketball or football is kind of like that. but not in such a dynamic way. I'll say jiu-jitsu is just as difficult as MMA when it comes to problem solving, in that there's no rounds. You have one round of 10 minutes if you're a black belt.
Right.
You got to figure that shit out. And that's why training is so important, and taking notes. Like, man, I just got to say, the jiu-jitsu is just so, it's so involved, man. And like, the more time you put on the mat, but thinking about it like that helped me completely with dealing with different guards. And then when you break down jiu-jitsu like that, then you can see similarities in different positions, because sometimes positions are just inverses of each other. Or the principles are the same, because with the reverse De La Hiva and the De La Hiva, the De La Hiva leg is, the principle is still doing it. The reasons for them doing it are different, and your attacks may be slightly different, but actually they're inverses of each other. Once someone is able to figure that out, then we're going to be able to make a leap in understanding the sport. And I think then it'll be more parity, kind of like how we figured out basketball for a while, and then it's going to require another sea change. Like how De La Hiva developed the De La Hiva guard, because everyone was so great at knee cuts and so great at pressure passing that we had to open the game to something else. But that's my goal lately, is just to compartmentalize and get that jiu-jitsu philosophy out there. So that's why you need to book me for a seminar, folks, because I'm like the smartest man in the game. Just playing. I'm not really, but, you know, I'm pretty good. Have you seen Daisy Fresh?
Nah.
That documentary is sick. So everybody listening,
I don't even know what that's about.
all right, so check it. Well, Google or go on, you have Flow, but there's like a thing on YouTube. It's called Daisy Fresh. It's a documentary about Pedigo submission fighting or submission systems.
The hell?
Yes. Daisy Fresh on Flow Grappling. Yeah, this shit is nuts, bro. So there's these boys in the Midwest, and yeah, these guys are absolute maniacs.
Sure, show a trailer. I mean, shit.
Yeah, I mean, you're giving these guys free pub. They ain't gonna
so
do
much
nothing.
about life and being a better person, and sometimes I just feel like the jiu-jitsu is just an extra bonus on top of being a part of this. And I rolled it over, and it had maggots with eating all its belly, and it burned.
Yeah, sick shit.
Obviously, we're fucking degenerate.
So the
Oh,
document,
check it out.
yeah, it's fucking sick. You know what? Those guys are hardcore as fuck. Those guys are gnarly as fuck. I love that energy. There are these boys in the Midwest. These guys train at Pedigo submission fighting, and they have the gym in an old ass laundromat, and it's called Daisy Fresh. It's old. I would best describe this academy as dilapidated, old ceiling, old building, old mats. But they don't give a fuck. They just go in there every day and they train fucking hard. The intensity and atmosphere, just young, hungry guys, and mainly lower belts going all out every roll. It reminds me of the early days of Crazy 88 with Julius and Malcolm and Keith Sabula. It reminds me of all the old times when I first came up in jiu-jitsu. And that attitude, I think a lot of gyms are missing now. It's right to the roots. Their coach, he said he's been training since like the 90s. And that's like ancient times. It's like, you know, the land before time as far as jiu-jitsu in the United States is concerned. And these guys go fucking hard. The guys live on the mats. Like a good chunk of them, they sleep on the mats. They get old crash pads they sleep on. Some of them, they just sleep on the floor, like on the mat, with a blanket. And one of them has like a Muay Thai kick pad that they use as a pillow. It's fucking sick, dude. Like, they get hurt. They don't give a fuck. They just keep pushing. And here's some notes I have. Everybody that watches that documentary or anyone that watches the trailer, all my young cats, you don't have to live like that. Like, there's a difference between grinding and, like, forcing yourself to kind of live.
That's immersion right there.
That's immersion, but I would not recommend immersion such as that, because very few people can live like that for an extended period of time. And if you do live like that, either you have a screw loose or you came up in a situation where, like, that's the norm. But I suggest, if you're watching this, do not do that. Some highlights that you're going to see if you watch this. The guys don't have a laundry room. Like, it's an old laundromat, but they don't have a washing machine, like for clothes. So they go not to the laundromat, but they go to an apartment complex that has a cheaper laundromat. And instead of using laundry detergent, they went into the bathroom and used hand soap and put it in their hands like this. And they proceeded to
dump it in the washing machine.
Yes. And that's how they wash their gis. You know what else they do on the show? They share gis. They're like, yeah, they said, yeah, bro. You know, we sleep with each other. Like, we sleep on the mats and we just share, you know. It's like communal living. I don't know how these young men do not have staff or MRSA.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I didn't see any clips of them washing the mat. A good quote is, it would be nice to go back to a bed and wash.
Yes,
bruh, like that's crazy.
They're basically like old like musicians that would live in the studio and shit. That's all they doing. They like big jujitsu hippies.
Man, I'm gonna be real with you, man. Like, unless you have to live like that, I don't know why motherfuckers think it's you're proving a point by putting yourself through that. Like, I've gone through some bullshit to get my dream, to follow my dream, and to make shit happen. But that kind of stuff is to the fucking extreme, man. It's to the extreme.
Like Vanilla Ice.
Yes. I'm going to go off topic here, but, you know, when I made the decision to do jiu-jitsu, it wasn't like the most popular decision for me to make in my household. It was frowned upon for a lot of the times. And there was a time in my life where I had to make a decision whether I end up having to live like fucked up or continue to train jiu-jitsu. And I just said I had to compartmentalize and I have to get my life together so I can make this dream happen. You know what I mean? Yep. There's no shame of taking a step back to make your life work, to make jiu-jitsu work for you, because you have to find balance in life. I'm all for the 3% mindset. I'm all for you going 110% in your dream. But in the pursuit of that dream, you can't fuck over your future. You can't fuck over your here and now just for the dream. You have to make it work, and you have to sacrifice. I know guys, plenty of guys that worked full-time jobs, worked 2 jobs, had families, and still was able to get good results on the fucking mat. Mm-hmm. I've seen it. I've been around it. I've experienced it. I've done exceptional things while having other things on the back burner and trying to make shit work. I've beaten guys while working a 9-to-5 that are world class or world champions. It can be done. Now, I'm not saying it's wrong for what these fellas are doing, because you got to make the decision. If that's what you want to do, do it. But don't think that you have to do that, or if you're not willing to do this, you don't want to be a champion.
Right.
That's far from it. And also, I really hope these guys, the Show Your Roll says they support them. You need to give these young men some new mats. I want to see these guys get donated some mats. You know, I want to see these guys get donated some gis and some fucking clothes detergent. Hopefully, with this, they get some charity.
Yeah, I'm about to check it out.
But low key, you know, it's kind of crazy though, man. I don't know these guys' backstory, but some of these guys, from what I understand, like one of them is in college. Other people, like, they don't have to live like this, dog. Like, it's kind of, you know, like those kids that grew up in a rich neighborhood. I'm not gonna front. I come from like a very nice neighborhood. I come from a very good life, but I'm not one of these people that do this. Some people just want to live like crazy or live fucked up. Just, it's like tourism. It's like that movie, My Own Private Omaha. No, My Own Private Idaho, where like it's a rich kid that decides to run away and kind of like live the dirty life. You know, live the fucked up life, and then because they can go back. But there's plenty. There's shit like this in Brazil too. But they don't really have a choice. They have nothing.
Yeah,
they have nothing.
No choice. Yep.
You know, so I think it's kind of weird that someone would do that unless they come from, you know, some of those guys. If you look at the documentary, they come from not so nice places, and this is their best option. But everyone looking at this, you don't have to do this and follow your dream. But these guys are hardcore. They're gnarly. I want to fucking roll with those guys. I want to train with them. I want to train with Wiltsey. That guy's gnarly as fuck. He stays healthy. I hope he stays healthy, and I hope he gets to Black Belt Worlds because he's tough as fuck. He's the best guy on the team from people that I know. Like Kieran, he's a Canadian guy. He says he's trained with them or he knows of them. So shout out to everybody on the squad. Like, you guys are fucking awesome, man. Like, keep it up. And it's very refreshing to see guys that aren't from a big BJJ hub and they aren't on a major team getting some praise. Like, really, they getting it from the mud. I really appreciate it. From someone that's from a team that gets it from the mud and isn't necessarily pushed and isn't a major team, I respect it. I respect the fuck out of those guys. Speaking of teams, the big split.
Oh boy.
AOJ
Left.
and Atos
Yup.
split. Say goodbye to the team title.
I think that's something. What's the reason?
What do you think? I don't know the answer.
Probably just because if I had to guess without knowing anything, I would say that Art of Jiu-Jitsu wants to become more family oriented, go with that white little angelic image, while Atos sticks with Roid Fest. You know, of course they have families in there and they have they're not just a competition school, they have regular classes like everybody else. But I don't know, I think it's about an image thing. They feel like they've given enough. They've given enough back to Andre. Time to do their own thing.
This has been brewing.
I have a sinus infection, everybody, by the way. And it's not cocaine. I promise.
He saves that for off camera. I think it's been brewing. I think it
might cure me.
It might, yeah. Clear up your sinuses real good.
Right?
I think it's been brewing for a while.
Separating on good terms, it says.
Yeah. That's what they all say, of course.
Right.
Everyone says on good terms, even on breakups, you know. It's so weird with breakups. People try to act all professional sometimes, or like they'll do real fucked up shit, but they'll try to qualify it or make it sound bad. Like, oh man, so many stories. Anyway, it's been brewing for a while. I think that they always wanted to split. I don't think that Andre and Guy and Hoffa were always that close. They've always seemed kind of different.
Right.
The image thing really gets me. I think they were riding together for as long as possible until they both felt as though they could ride alone. It's just like two different brands right now. Hoffa and Guy, I think they think that they can just take over with what they got. As far as the image of family friendly, I could see that. But it's kind of hypocritical because if it's anything, I don't think it has anything to do with the whole steroid controversy. Because if you look at Hoffa and Guy, and if you hear all the stories that everyone says, but no one is willing to put it on wax about how, like, Hoffa allegedly got off for pissing hot, and they gave him the alternative.
Yeah, they had a dry look for a while.
Yeah. I think those guys always want to do their own thing. I think it might be ego involved too. They feel as though they want to have their own place instead of just having Atos, which is kind of Andre Galvao and not Cicero Costa.
Leo Vieira.
No,
that's Checkmat.
Nah, that's Checkmat.
Vieira.
Hoffa and Guilherme Mendez's coach. Oh shit! I can't believe I forgot.
I thought their coach was Galvao.
It is not Andre Galvao.
Oh shit!
Nah, it is not Andre Galvao. But I think that they always wanted to branch out. They're like a younger generation. They're the younger generation. Like they're closer with each other than they are. Cause Hoffa is like way younger. Well, not way younger, but he's significantly younger. Ramon Lemos.
Oh, okay.
Ramon Lemos and Andre Galvao were kind of the founders of Atos. So that's kind of Andre Galvao's shit. ALJ became a brand in of itself ever since they opened that gym. They've always been kind of separated. And I hear like inklings like maybe there was like a semi-beef. But they just never seen eye to eye. But teams always split.
Yeah.
And the whole like Legion thing, Like one of my homies was telling me, you know, it's so great. He's starting his own gym. He's gonna make this shit different. I'm like, ain't shit gonna change in jiu-jitsu. Teams are gonna get together. Guys are gonna start teams. They're gonna say, we're gonna do it this way. Everyone wants to have this new gimmick. Like you're gonna reinvent the wheel. Here's the bottom line. When people have a gym, it's their gym, their rules. If you come together as a team, it works out at first. We're winning titles. We're cross-training. But then egos get involved. Or separate visions happen.
Right.
And people split all the fucking time. You got to think about it, too. When these teams, they build up these affiliations. You know how they send out guys for seminars, right?
Yep.
There's only so many seminars to go around. Eventually, people are like, I'm not getting enough seminars. Or I don't feel like paying these dues. I'm not getting enough of this. And then people split because there's not enough of the pie to go around if you're all on the same team. And how many times are people going to want to fucking bow out? That boy Johnny Tama was sick last Worlds. He felt like he could win. He's like, fuck, I got to bow out to this guy. I got to bow out to the old head. Or when Gianni Grippo would have to bow out to Cabrinha. Gianni Grippo's really good. If they weren't on the same team and him and Cabrinha were going to fight, who knows? Because I thought Jamil had beaten Cabrinha when they fought. And then Gianni can beat Jamil. He's beaten Jamil. So it's all, you never know.
Any given Sunday with it.
I prefer these big teams get split up. I don't like how guys just join the same team just so they don't have to fight each other. That shit is whack. That's almost as whack as stalling from on bottom. That should be banned. You know what they need to do? They just need to like change the points. I'm thinking only one guy per division can score points. Or like they have to fight. Like so for team points.
Oh, okay.
For team points, it's like I know a black belt it's like 9 for gold, 3 for silver, 1 for bronze, something like that. They gotta change the rules so these teams can't just send 300 people and just rack up the points. If it's only 2 guys per team for division, and the rest of the points they don't fucking count. Last big story in the jiu-jitsu world, Mikey the Giant Killer. Do you know anything about Mikey Musumeci?
Oh, yeah, I know quite a bit.
So what do you know about what's going on with him?
I don't know about anything recent. I know he was tore up. He was doing well against Muhammad Ali and some other people, Europeans, I think it was.
Now, the new thing is that he is having a $10,000 challenge for any guy any size.
Kyle Terra or something put it up.
Kyle put it up, but Mikey's going to be the one to have to actually fight.
Right.
I have so many thoughts on this. I don't give props to people that put themselves in a win-win situation. I commend him for putting himself out there. I commend anyone who's willing to compete, but I can't give props to somebody that's putting himself in a win-win situation. Because if he wins, he's considered the best pound for pound. And they're going to be talking about the legend of Mikey the Giant Killer forever. And if he loses, he has the built-in excuse that he's smaller.
Right.
Other guy is in a lose-lose situation. If you beat Mikey Musumeci, yeah, you won. Yeah, you beat a world champion, but he's probably only going to pick guys that are significantly bigger than him. So if you're bigger than him, you don't really get props for beating him. And if you lose, oh, Lord Jesus.
Yeah.
It's the end of the fucking world. Yeah. It's the end of the world as we know it. I don't like how Kyle's in the forefront. Like, he's all up in the interviews. He's like, pressing, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, if this is going to be Mikey's shit, he's got to stand on his own and say, this is my shit, and I'm owning it. I just think it's so weird. I know the Musumekis have been switching camps. I know they've switched teams, and for them, that's just how they operate. But it's weird, like, all of a sudden, Kyle's, like, super involved with Mikey, you know, he's pushing him, and like it just so happens that like Mikey, he says like Mikey's never gonna fight Bruno Malfacine, and then all of a sudden where he's fighting Bruno in the semis and shit, and it just so happens that Bruno was rivals with Kyle. Like Kyle and Bruno had like wars. Right. most of the time Bruno won, but Kyle would win every once in a while, and like it was like heated, like accusations of one was using steroids and all this shit. Like it was beef kinda. And then, you know, he has his prodigy on his hands with Mikey, and he takes out Bruno. It's just super weird to me, dude. Like, I don't know why you got to be in the spotlight. And, you know, Mikey just is a quiet dude, you know. He's just, what's the word I'm trying to look for? He's eccentric, you know what I mean? He's a nice kid. Right. And, you know, he's very loyal, and I feel like someone in that position, you kind of can't put him out there like that because, I mean, I know he's a warrior, but this man has the potential to win 4 world titles. They're talking about putting this man in the open. He could do it. It's possible. Take it from me. I was a little guy that's not on steroids that medaled at like a Grand Slam Open. But the price you pay physically to get through the Open, even at my size, it can cost you. It can cost you title. I mean, we saw Lucas Lepre at Europeans last year. He was kicking ass, but then he lost to Levi Jones-Leary, and Levi is very good. But we're talking Lucas fucking Lepre. If Lucas was a little bit fresher, I think he takes the match. But the Open takes it out of you.
Yeah, I've always thought it was stupid. I always thought it was stupid that they turned my mic off because of my nose. I always thought it was stupid that they did the absolute first. Like, you should do that shit at the end.
It's the fucking worst. It's the fucking worst. So he's going to have to do the Open first. He's going to have to do the Open first. Then he's going to have to do his division. Let's say he gets to the finals of the Open, right? He will have to fight giants.
Yeah, for sure.
Why do you think Buchecha keeps winning? Right?
Yeah, he's already the biggest.
Exactly. The only time little people win the Open is if like a big motherfucker gets hurt, or at black belt when the big guy gifts it to the little guy, like when Muhammad ripped Leongelo's arm off. Y'all got to keep the same energy of like, yeah, he's tough if he gets hurt too. Because the rumor on the street is Herber Santos is going to take on Mikey for the $10,000. This can go 2 ways. Either Herber gets frustrated and like frustrated taps, or maybe, and it's a good chance, Herber breaks his leg.
Breaks Mikey's leg?
Yes. Like, you can't, the thing with Herber is you can't really play 50-50 with him. Like, the time shit don't work. I seen this man in full-blown 50-50. I still don't know what the fuck he did. He took Michael Lier's leg, just yanked it the wrong way as hard as he could. I don't even know if it was hard as he could. Just yanked the shit out of his leg. 50-50 knee bar.
Wow.
He just twisted like, and it's like, ah! Scream tap. Fight over.
Damn.
Fight fucking over. And here's the thing. You know what's going to happen? Everyone's going to be mad. They're going to be blaming everybody else. They're going to be blaming Herber. They're going to blame all this other shit and say, oh, that's not fair. Oh, that's fucked up. You know, yay, Mikey, yay. Once again, win-win. But I'm going to be pissed. Well, not even pissed. I really don't care. But I'm going to be like, you know who's to blame? Kyle for gassing him up. And at the end of the day, Mikey, because he signed the waiver. I'm not wishing that he gets hurt. Quite the contrary. That's why I'm saying this, that this is absolutely absurd. I just hope that it turns out right. I just think it's crazy. They're bugging. And, you know, I'm not really excited for it. It doesn't intrigue me. It's a win-win. Like, it's nothing on the line for him.
Right. It's a spectacle.
It's a spectacle. I think jiu-jitsu needs a spectacle. But at a certain point, when sport becomes spectacle, at what point does it become farcical? Like, what time does it become a joke? With MMA, right? I like MMA, but I used to love MMA. Because when I would watch, like, there were different characters. You know, we had the Iceman. We had Rampage.
Right.
We even had Crazy Horse Bennett. You know, wild motherfuckers. But when we watched, we knew that the baddest motherfuckers are getting.
Oops.
But when we watched.
Sorry.
Jesus Christ. Turn that shit off. Turn that shit off. I don't like hearing my voice like that. Just playing. Yeah, the baddest motherfuckers are fighting. But now it's like, man, this is a championship fight, but why does this guy have a championship match? Or why is this guy in the marquee? He just got knocked the fuck out like 2 weeks ago. For sure. So we gotta find the balance. More power to Mikey. Get that money. And whoever takes on Mikey, get that money too. Because it's all about the Benjamins. Fuck all the other shit. We're all about these blue faces over here. I mean, that's pretty much all I got. That's all the news that I have to share with you folks. Pants Camp is going great. I feel fantastic. I'm ready to win my division. Because I don't think I'm going to do the Open. I don't think I'm going to do it. I'm going for... Master Lloyd said this to me a while ago. And I was stubborn. But now I get it. In order to win one title, 2 titles, like double gold, you got to be able to win one.
Yeah.
So, in that Grand Slam, I'm looking for a Grand Slam title in the gi at black belt. Looking for that Pan title and that World title in May. Tony, anything you'd like to add before we dip?
Nah, man, my nose is running off. I made it through, though.
Remember, kids, say no to drugs. And if you do drugs, get a testing kit or else you get a sinus infection like Tony.
Yeah.
All jokes aside, though, Tony's being a soldier. Shout out to Tony Peranio. He's coming out with the BJJ dating app. Well, he still has got it, but now women are free on BJJ dating?
Women's is free.
Women are free, so ladies, you want
It's
a
your
man?
time. There's 1,600 men for you to browse and fawn over. And
Listen,
they're all real. I work very hard to make sure that every profile is real.
Ladies,
No fakers.
ladies, don't you want to date a grappler? Think about it, We work out all the time, so we're in great shape. Most of us have abs. We have strong hips. That's good for you girls, I'm assuming, I guess. And, we can protect you. I don't think any woman really respects or wants to date a guy that can't fight.
Hell no.
Or can't defend her. I like this whole, sensitive culture shit.
That's what I was going to say. Some women probably like all that little sensitive guy stuff these days.
I don't think so, man. I don't know. We need to get another female. You know what's crazy? I think we're the most progressive jiu-jitsu podcast because most of our guests are women. A lot of our guests some of our highest rated guests are women. But yeah, I think women want a man that protects them. And with this whole sensitive culture, and you know how guys, back in the day, to pick up a girl, you kind of had to have you had to look good. You had to have smell good. You had to have a personality.
People don't even wear cologne no more.
Now guys are just simping or pandering. Guys are online white knighting. No chick wants a white knight. All you male feminists, ugh. Girl, I don't think women like that. All the women I've dealt with, they like manly men. So, ladies, get on the BJJ dating app so you can find your manly man. And if you want a manly man that fights in the cage, there is... What's the name of it? Cage Date?
Right.
CageDate.com. All right?
And if you're a guy, don't try to make a fake woman profile because I'm too smart for that shit. Women can't look at other women. Ha ha, gotcha. Sorry if there's any lesbians out there, but I got to do it to block the men from trying to be cheap and looking at the women for free.
Yeah, so get your guts filled by a cage fighter, ladies. So, you can find me at Tim Spriggs BJJ on Instagram or Facebook. You can also find me at TimSpriggsBJJ.com. You can book me for a seminar, private lesson, even a super fight. And go to VHCSNY.com. Use promo code Mushmaster for 10% off everything in the store. You want to look fly like me? You want to fight like me? Just hit me up or go to VHCSNY.com. Peace.